And according to the interwebs, we are now live.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, ho, ho.
Like, ho, ho. We've already been talking for so long. Now we're going to recap everything. Ooh, that is nice.
Oh, hang on. That's the front. Well, we'll just hang for a minute and see if anyone gets notifications that we are live. Let me finish this row.
Yes. I'm debating whether I attempt a version of the collar with this ribbing instead of velvet.
Okay, well, whilst we're waiting for people to get the notifications that we're live, hi, it's Renee. Welcome back to the channel. And we have Charlotte here. Normal chaos shall ensue probably later this evening. But for now, we are just going to sit and chat about Guards by Terry Pratchett and the offshoot. I wouldn't call it the TV adaptation. I'll call it an offshoot, The Watch.
You're so inspired by some of the characters.
Yeah, it literally just has inspired by the characters of Sir Terry Pratchett. Literally, that's all it says. Yeah. So, which I think is pretty accurate.
Yeah. I would say it's partially inspired by The Watch. Yeah. By the Guards.
Was it Sage that said it the other night? It's like someone just sort of waved the books in the general direction of the reading room.
Of the writer's room, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair though, I think they did a good job of converting Vimes to a TV character.
I love the characterization of Vimes in the show. That is one of my favorite things. Because, okay, so this is the perfect place to bring this quote in. A couple of chapters in, Vimes is described, and I think the narrator says he would describe himself as a skinny, unshaven collection of bad habits marinated in alcohol. And the TV show captures that so beautifully.
Yes. I think they picked the best actor for it, like look-wise, also too, just personality-wise. I think he did a fantastic job. And I must admit, now every time I read Vimes in Discworld, I think I'm going to have that image of him in my head and his voice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
we got notification. 3 minutes in.
3 minutes in. So what are you working on tonight, Charlotte?
I am taking a break from knitting. Scandalous, I know. To work on this bomber jacket I've been working on since lockdown 4. It's now lockdown 6. And I'm debating collars at the moment. But it might be more productive to debate cuffs and waistbands or pockets or lining for that matter. Because the collar, I'm pretty sure will
do the lining. You really should do the lining before you do your trimming.
Yes, but I'm unsure whether I'm going to even bother with lining. So that is why there is yet to be any sort of lining.
And
I don't know whether to line it in the same color or in black. Either way, it'll involve cutting out new pieces, and I don't know where I put the pattern piece, which will mean I'll have to make new pattern pieces, and it's a whole different size now, and it'll just be a lot of work that I am lazy and don't want to do.
Okay.
Also, the black satin that I bought, I swear it was the same sort of satin, but it feels shit by comparison. It just doesn't feel as nice.
Have you washed them?
No, neither of them. Probably should have, but I'm too lazy for that shit. Satin doesn't really shrink that much, though, does it?
It's pretty much 100% polyester, so I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think so. Good. Maybe I'll do lining just because that's easier than this fucking collar without interfacing. I know, like, literally 30 seconds I said I didn't want to do lining because that was complicated. But the collar is also complicated. I've got the zip in, though, which may complicate things for lining-wise, but yeah, it'll be fine.
Sorry, I can actually hear something going out the front, and someone has literally stopped their car in the middle of the road. They're just sitting there with their car in the middle of the road.
Weird.
Maybe they've seen all the bags of baby crap I put out the front there this morning, and they're stealing them all. Please take them. Take them. No, don't drive off. Take them. Damn it.
Oh, that's quite nice, actually. Trim this down. So yeah, so I finished the watch today. Oh, fuck. Oh no, it looks like it's fine. Thought I almost accidentally just cut into the collar piece that I've got there. Not that I can't cut it again. It's just annoying if I have to. I'm so in the mood for a burger right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wanted one yesterday. And now I think I might just order DoorDash or Uber Eats real quick.
Go for it. Still got. Yeah, no, I did a little Missy has had a growth spurt and she's been moved up to
The amount of times I've sat on this and I'm surprised that I have not ended up with a massive hole in my ass. I guess that's the advantage of extra cushioning. It just sort of absorbs around everything. Sitting on a pen before, I didn't even notice.
People think that the biggest tool that a sewer use is a needle. No, it's a seam ripper.
Seam ripper.
That is the most important tool. I don't know if I said what I'm knitting. I started knitting a cardigan today, or jackety cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like much at the moment, but hopefully
it'll get
extra rows in by the end of tonight. I shouldn't have cast it on because I haven't finished Mark's blanket yet, and I really should finish the blanket because his blanket is 100% thick Australian wool. It's going to be extremely, extremely hot once summer hits, and I'm not going to want to knit with it on my lap. But I have been putting off casting this on for about 2 months, and I just finally went, nope, that's it. I'm done. I need to cast it on. I also have notes for about 4 other patterns that I want to cast on. And the yarn's all ready to go. And I'm like, I really want to start knitting this. It's like, no, don't. Get things finished first. Anyway.
Ooh, should I get grilled?
Or grilled. I love a grilled burger. I love
we went to grilled.
Do you know what I really like with grilled? I like the sliders. Because you can get 2 or 3 little ones, so you can, because if you can't make a decision, they're my favorite.
The annoying thing is I know that burgled is a lot cheaper if you go to the store and pick it up yourself. than ordering through like Uber Eats because I do that. And I wanted to get it the other day so bad, but they were shut. And now I'm just like,
are they only doing deliveries? Are they?
Well, no, like they wouldn't even pick up their phone. So I don't think there was anyone actually there. So now I got to pay like an extra couple of bucks per item because the prices are higher. Like in store, the burgers are like 15, 14, 15.
I didn't think they were allowed to do that.
I don't know. Well, they do because it must be to cater for like the percentage that Uber Eats takes.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly thought they weren't allowed to do that, but Okay, well, I guess we've given people a chance to tune in. So I reckon we'll just start chatting and go from there.
Yes.
Okay, so initial. Oh, we'll let Charlotte finish her order first.
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Okay, so initial thoughts on Guards by Sir Terry Pratchett.
Great book. Took me a while to sort of fully get into it, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's telling to me that it is only something like the 8th book in the Discworld series. So it's a relatively older one. It's not as polished as Going Postal was. Or Hogfather. Which one's what number's Hogfather? Hang on, let me look them up.
What annoys me about Burgled is they have this really great smoked paprika aioli that goes with your onion rings, but it's not available to order by itself as an extra anywhere that I can click on here.
Yeah. Hogfather was about halfway through, so Hogfather was about the 20th.
Oh, they've got jam donuts though.
Oh, yum. So yeah, so when you look at it from the ones that we've already done, Going Postal was the most polished one of the lot that we've read so far. Hogfather was good, but had its moments, and then this is not necessarily the best writing, but I kind of liked the theme of this book where it was like a detective thing. Even though I'm not really a detective a mystery fan, not that it's really a mystery, you know from the start what's happening, but from the point of view of the characters, it's sort of they're guards, you know, they're police officers, for lack of a better term. You know, they're trying to figure out what's going on. So yeah, I did like that from that point of view. It's the closest thing to a plot that I think Pratchett ever got to.
It does have like quite a significant amount of plot compared to, I mean, all of the ones that I've read, well, compared to some of the ones that I haven't finished, that I've started and didn't finish.
Well,
but I think the reason
is situational. You've got Going Postal, you've got a character who is a general lowlife and swindler, and he gets put in a situation where he either is going to be killed for his crimes or he has to do something to save his ass.
Yeah.
Hogfather is also situational. You've got the auditors in a position where they are effectively trying to kill the Hogfather, and it's how characters get around it. So when this one is very much a whodunit, or more of the point of where is the dragon?
Yeah.
And I think what I appreciate most about this is the character of Vimes, because he's a drunkard. He's the captain of the Night Watch. He's a drunkard because his position actually means nothing at the start of this. And he himself is like he's been put in that position because he knows he says the wrong thing. Rather than just keeping his mouth shut, he'll just blurt shit out. And he's not wrong, but he doesn't say he says the wrong thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person, depending on how you look at it. And so he's been stuck in this position. I mean, if he kept his mouth shut, he probably seems intelligent enough to have ended up, very high ranked in maybe the, some other guards or some other political sort of area. He seems, to me, Vimes is a very intelligent character, but they don't beat it over the head. They don't beat you over the head with the fact that he actually is very intelligent. He's just been put in a situation where he's got nothing to live for anymore. He's bored, got no future. But the minute there is, I think it's put very well when his mind immediately jumps, and I think this is why I like him so much, because I see a bit of myself in this. He goes from there's a dragon to where is the dragon going during the day to what is the general populace going to actually do once they figure out that once they realize that dragons are rumored to sleep on treasure.
Yeah.
He doesn't start with let's find the dragon to kill it or whatever. He goes, okay, what is the actual general populace going to end up doing once they get over the shock of seeing a dragon? Oh shit, we need something about this very quickly because people are going to get themselves dead.
Yeah.
Which I think is very telling for his intelligence.
He's a smart one, and then I think he's smart enough that he drinks a lot. I think that's part of like the characterization where it's like he starts at a level below sober and has to work his way up to it.
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it like the conversation with the patrician? That was in the book, wasn't it? Yeah, no. He has a conversation with Veterinary, and he basically questions how Veterinary can live with this knowledge without being a drunkard.
Yes. Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Oh, they just shut. Well, they shut on DoorDash anyway.
You're not having much luck here, are you?
Well, it's supposedly still open on Uber Eats, but I don't really want to pay $28 for a burger and chips.
Ouch.
When it would be like 15, let's say 19 if I had been able to go down and get it.
That's a huge markup. That to me says they've gotten onto Uber Eats to say they're on Uber Eats, but they've marked it up so much so you don't use it.
Yeah. Well, it's marked up a little bit. Then there's like $5 of Uber Eats fees on top of that.
Yeah, plus delivery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I wonder what grilled is like.
So we got warnings for gale force winds in our area today. So if you hear some thunder and rumbling, that's just the winds rocking down the street. We have a Laurel. Hey, Laurel, how you going? We're just talking about guards. Good old Sir Terry Pratchett and the TV series The Watch. And
I'm trying to get a burger.
I have confessed to being on Team Vines.
Vines is pretty great. Pretty great indeed.
Sorry, just occasionally. Oh God, that's one of the cats. Could hear something in the kitchen. It's probably going after the chicken juice on the plates, which I haven't put in the dishwasher yet. Ugh. I'll do that eventually. Yeah, so have you read it, Laurel? Let us know if you have. Or if you've seen the TV series, because we'll get chatting about that in a minute. Is there any character that sticks out to you, Charlotte? As someone else to talk about it separately?
From the book or the show, or either?
Well, we'll stick to the book for now, and then we'll talk about the show and the context and the difference.
I really liked the book version of Mad Patties. They're usually all right. Sorry, burgers. I really liked the book version of Sybil Rampkin. The show version grew on me, but I was mildly disappointed. Like, I can see how the original version would not have worked in the show at all.
Yeah. I can see why they did what they did to change Rampkin, Lady Rampkin. Doesn't mean I wasn't disappointed, but I can see why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder whether these guys will
Okay, so you haven't read it. Okay, but it's okay. So we haven't really talked about the basic storyline. So this is actually
someone tries to summon a dragon and it goes horribly wrong for a lot of people.
Pretty much. Yes. Particularly those the dragon eats and kills.
Yeah.
Because in true Terry Pratchett style, that's usually the ones that have the worst effect. Yeah. And it's really just, it's also too, it's sort of the revitalization of the Night's Watch. So before, if you've read any of the later Ankh-Morponk based books, the Night's Watch is pretty well respected and has a job. When in this, at the start, it is very much, well, we've only sort of kept you guys on doing this job because occasionally there are thieves out there that do thieving without having the proper paperwork.
Yeah. Unauthorized crime.
Unauthorized crime. So it's been reduced down to 3 members, and you've got Captain Vimes, and this is where I think the TV show did better job. I have trouble remembering the corporal and the sergeant's names because to me they were.
I remember they were. It's Corporal Nobbs or Nobby, and it's Sergeant. Sergeant Detritus is the show. Sergeant starts with a C, I think.
Yeah, but I have real trouble remembering their names because they were big cardboard cutouty characters. Which I think is why. Which I think
there was
is
one
why
quote. There's one quote about Nobby that I really liked, which is when they're around Sybil Rampkin, and Vimes just says in his internal monologue, he's getting sick of Nobby the social mountaineer.
Yes.
Which I thought was the most brilliant description.
Yeah. And at the start of the story, the watch is increased to 4 because a young fella is sent down from the mountains. He's been raised by dwarves. And so they think a dwarf is coming to join them, but it's actually a human that's been raised by dwarves, and there's a whole backstory there too, which is pretty close to the TV series. They kept that pretty close, but they did a twist with that in the end, which I quite liked.
Was pretty good.
And yeah, and then although I think it would be fun if at the end, like in the TV series, it twists back and it's just that he didn't have enough of the whatever it was in his blood sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was so diluted. But notwithstanding. And so yeah, the watch is pretty much, they're just literally waiting for these people to die so that the watch can pretty much just disappear. And then all of a sudden a dragon starts appearing in the middle of the city and blasting people. It's actually quite interesting because it's sort of done as a throwaway comment that all of the 4 members of the watch got themselves plastered after a bar fight. Quite funny. And they're walking down one of the really bad streets, and they're literally going to be set on by muggers. They will probably end up dead, And
they're literally about to die because they went into the wrong part of town.
Because they didn't turn left at Albuquerque, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the dragon just happens to appear and blast the muggers before the muggers go after the guards. And they just sort of make this comment about how the street looks, because Veterinary comes down and Veterinary, I have real trouble with veterinary being a he now because I love what they did with veterinary in the TV series as a she. So I now in my head think of veterinary as a she.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and there's just this sort of comment about we can't have. He goes, veterinary goes, we will have. I'll get someone to come down and clean the wall.
Yeah.
And Grimes goes, what? Clean down here? And he goes, you're right. I'll get them to demolish the wall. Because apparently the dragon flame had actually created silhouettes. If you've seen Iron Man 3?
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. It melted them onto the wall in a silhouette. And I think it was actually, wasn't it Once who said, who's like, what, you sure you want to clean that? And he was like, yeah, why wouldn't it? It was like, the silhouette will raise suspicions as like, not as much as fresh paint in the shades.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. And that's when they go, oh, yes, okay, we'll just demolish the wall,
Oh, yes, that's right. Demolish
it. The key for me is that starts off as a throwaway comment. And then right near the end, Vimes is actually, you can see him having trouble processing the fear he has of the dragon and what the dragon can do, because he keeps remembering two things: the shades on the wall and the nostrils as he's looking up at the dragon, because the dragon gets very, very close to him at one point. And it's very subtle. It's not Vimes was scared of the dragon. It's no. He keeps thinking about these bits, and that's what I think is the core of Pratchett and how he became such a very well-known writer, is that he didn't just he didn't like hit you over the head with, oh, this character's frightened of what he's doing. This character's frightened of what he's doing. It's like, no. Just little subtle hints that when you put the book down, you go, oh, what was that? What did he say again back there? You know, just to yeah. But I did like that. I like that he kept going back to the shades on the wall. And I think at one point he sort of thinks to himself he didn't want him, when they were talking about chasing the dragon down or something, or firing at the dragon, in his head he's going, I don't want my men to become shadows on a wall, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you know?
Yeah.
That has made an impact. Yeah.
Now the question is, do I get loaded fries or just regular fries? And load them.
Depends on how cheesy you feel, like how much cheese you want, really, doesn't it?
I actually just realized I have a heap of stuff I could load on the fries myself. So switching that to regular fries, because that also takes time. Yeah, but for $6, I can add a bit of ham and cheese on there myself.
Oh, ham! Ugh. No. When it comes to loaded fries, I just like cheese, melted cheese, and maybe some taco sauce. Nice. like it like nachos, like cheesy nachos. Yeah. Yummy. Anyway.
Here we go.
Yeah. So So Lady, let's talk about the differences between the book and the TV series. So
yes,
when it comes to Watch,
the Watch is made up of some of the best characters who serve in the Watch over across the entire series of books.
Yes. Which includes the werewolf,
the
troll,
the gnome who decides she wants to be a woman, which is a whole thing in the books of like the gnomes all present as male regardless of sex. And I think that's in one of the later Watch books. It is, and there's Parrot, because he's vital to the dragon story. And then there is Sergeant Detritus, who is a troll from under a bridge, who's literally made of rocks.
Which from memory is see, this is the thing is I can't remember if it's a troll or if it's a golem in the books.
It might be a golem.
I think it's a golem in the books, or it's a troll, but they've given him very golem-like attributes in the TV series. Sorry, that crackling you hear is that crackling you hear is my darling little girl with her mouth, her teething mitt. Oh yeah, she's enjoying that. Yeah. And yeah, I know, ham fries. Ugh. At least have crispy bacon on it, not ham.
Well, the ham was like as a substitute for bacon. I probably won't even bother.
So I can also understand why they've put those characters into the TV series rather than the four. Just look, Carrot and Vimes are in this book as well, but the other two characters or other three characters of the guards.
They're kind of bland.
More interesting than the two that are in this book. As I said, I have trouble remembering their names because to me they're interchangeable. They could be one person.
They're basically guard 1 and guard 2.
Yes. And they do develop, I believe, from memory. I mean, it's been so long since I've read.
They do, yeah.
But in this book, they're not really needed other than a bit of a backdrop and a bit of a flavour of unk. You know, because one of them ends up being a bit of a dandy that loves to, dress up in weird outfits and
He's like a Morris dancer or something, isn't he? He's like the Uncle Hawk version of a Morris dancer.
Yes. So I so they do have their moments, but they're not. Like, you could take them out and you could put in guard 1, guard 2, and it wouldn't change the story very much.
Yeah, they could be substituted with anyone else without it affecting the story.
Yeah. When you need Carrot and you need Vine. So I can see why they've swapped them out for more interesting characters. And I love the werewolf. The way they present her in the TV series, and I love the way they present the gnome. I think she's awesome. And so it's they've done some changes, but I think it was worth doing those changes. And at the end of it all, if it has a second, third, fourth season, the characters are now introduced. They can go on and do the similar storylines to what they have in the books, but they've already got the characters, they've got their backgrounds, they've got the the issues that they're dealing with all ready to go. Rather than adding in new characters every season, they can just keep it. They can keep it to that core 5, 6 of them, and that's it. They're done.
Still confirming order.
Ugh. Oh, excuse me. Okay. What else in the watch? Okay. The watch house is pretty similar in my mind in the book to the TV series, the actual building itself. Although it gets destroyed pretty quickly in the book and they have to get a new watch house. Lord Veterinary is, and this is what I love about it. Look, it's the same things pretty much happened in Salt. If you ever watched the Angelina Jolie movie Salt, is they've taken a male role, they've put a female in that role, and they haven't changed anything, not even the dialogue. So they always call her Lord Veterinary, not lady, Lord.
And really Sir, and even in the dialogue at one point, they refer to her as both him and her in the same one sentence or whatever, which is brilliant.
My Wi-Fi's been a bit funny. I'm just going to drop out of the stream and try to fix it up. Just give me a sec.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I've got the power, and I'm trying to order a burger. I wish my powers were working. I hate it when it just says confirming order and it won't hurry up and confirm order. Come on, people. Are you still there? Please be there and make me a burger. They are still there.
That's better. So I was having a little warning. I had the little warning symbol up, so I thought, well, better deal with it before I drop out.
Yeah.
So I really like that about Lord Vetinari. I thought that was brilliant the way they did that. And then there's Lady Sybil Ramkin. Shall we discuss the good points? They gave her a very interesting backstory.
I quite like her as a character in the show.
I liked her as a character in the show. I quite liked her character. I liked how they brought in her motivation.
Oh fuck. But she really has very no connection. Oh, that's okay. I'm hoping I can get a burger, but it's not looking good. Unless they... Huh? Because they're not confirming my order.
We can drive to it.
I'm on the stream.
You can take it with you.
We could try.
I can hold it for you.
If someone wants a burger.
Can we get a burger? I don't know if Burgle is still open.
No, Hungry Jack's. The tender crisp chicken is nice.
There's
There's always
Jack.
Jackers.
Ugh. I have standards. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
When you're 8 months pregnant and starving, it doesn't matter what burger it is as long as it's a burger.
Right now.
Decide
now. Decide now.
No, I'll hope that they confirm. Otherwise, I miss out on burger. We can get burgers tomorrow, though.
Because you know what will happen is you'll go get something else and then it will confirm, and you'll end up with two.
No, exactly. If we went to get something else, I'd have to cancel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then still haven't confirmed. So.
Okay. So, Lady Ramkin.
Nice. Unlike the burger place.
Yeah.
Lady Ramkin.
So in the book, Lady Ramkin is a swamp dragon breeder. Now, swamp dragons are pretty much the size of the dragons that Becca makes as bags and shoulder dragons.
Yeah.
I want one of those shoulder dragons one day.
Yes.
So they're little dragons, but they're still dragons. So Vimes goes to her for advice about dragons, what they are, what they eat, how they look, all that sort of stuff.
She's also like a member of the aristocracy.
Well, she's later on she is the only living person of the oldest aristocracy left in the city. So she might not necessarily be high in political things, but her family history is very important to the city, I guess, in a way. Mm-hmm. And but she's I love the description of her bedroom because when the dragon attacks, so they go to her for help. She gives Vimes some advice. He goes back, and then the dragon actually attacks the watch house and destroys it while they're on the roof. And Lady Ramkin actually comes running, helps them, and Vimes ends up being put in her room to recover because he's out. He's unconscious.
He basically gets
up. When he wakes up, it is pretty much described as this is a bedroom that she's probably lived in her entire life. She's the type of person who her dad would have called his little girl when she was 30.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of bedroom that never expected to see a man in it. Okay. So it's not fluffy. She's not a lady. She's a very practical woman who just wants to live her life, do what she wants to do and move. And she doesn't hate people. She doesn't hate men. She doesn't hate, she just wants to just be herself and do what she wants to do.
She's interested in dragons, and that's about it.
Exactly. And at one point, because she gives them a property to use as their new watch house, And at one point, Vimes is like, why? She goes, oh, just call it my civic duty, you know, because she's just that kind of person that's just like, oh, well, you need something here, take it, you know.
Yeah.
And
I've got a spare man.
She's a good person. And but in the TV series, they have this whole backstory about how her parents were murdered by assassins.
She's basically a vigilante.
Which may have happened because they never tell you what happened to her parents, and assassins are legal in Ankh-Morpork. I'm never going to get that name right, guys. I'm sorry. I can never get Ankh-Morpork. Oh my god! See. Anyway, it just does not roll off my tongue very well. Okay. So yeah. So she
Vigilante, the vigilante.
What do you want me to say? Vigilante?
Vigilante.
Like I'm from Texas?
Vigilante.
Sorry, Laurel.
Vigilante.
Vigilante. Isn't that how you meant to say it? Vigilante. Vigilante.
Vigilante. Now there's a latte for the Melbourne coffee goers. Yeah, and then she's got this whole backstory where her parents were killed by an assassin. She witnessed it, which she has to pretend she didn't see because they never leave witnesses behind. She would have been murdered just for the sake of seeing.
Yeah.
And so because of that, she now kidnaps people who are doing their legal job and tries to unbrainwash them and actually teach them that doing crime is wrong in a city where it is legal to be a thief as long as you give the correct receipts.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. And the biggest annoyance I have for Lady Ramkin in the TV series is they took her from a very big boned woman who it literally says the Ramkins bred for being sturdy. They did not breed for pretty. And they look, she's an amazing actress. She did a great job. But I don't, yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm going to sneeze. But I didn't like how they took a character that was pretty much an everyday character, like an everyday woman, you know, a strong person, big boned, strong.
Some classic plus size rap.
Yes. And they've literally taken her strength and abilities and put them in someone who's not a lightweight. Don't get me wrong, the actor's not a lightweight, but she wasn't as described.
No, she's not. They basically turned her into like a kick-ass, strong female character.
Yeah.
In the Hollywood cliche way, when she was
a
already
Black Widow.
Yeah.
They turned her into a Black Widow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Which, look, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
But she was so good. It's like the just lady pottering around with her dragons who would sternly tell off like a fucking massive dragon.
I love that scene. In the book, Lady Ramkin goes, "That's it," and she storms up to the dragon. She's standing in front of it.
Doesn't she throw a boot at it?
Sit. And this dragon is going to sit, except she does one thing wrong. She breaks eye contact.
Yeah.
If she hadn't broken eye contact, that dragon would have sat.
Yeah.
So they're two different Ramkins, I think. They're two very different Ramkins. They could have given her a different name and I wouldn't have actually said, oh, that's the Ramkin from the story. You know, I would have gone, oh, they've just made up some female character to be Vimes' interest.
New interest. Which I think a big difference as well is in the show, they sort of have like a full sort of romance arc based around fighting crime and all that shtick. In the book, they sort of fall for each other because they're both weirdos who like dragons.
Yes, and she, I think for Lady Ramkin, the thing is when Vimes saves her dragons. So Vimes is in her house. He's been injured. He's coming good. The Watchers left because they've gone to the new place to set up, and the populace of Ankh-Morpork has decided that they're going to go and kill all of her dragons because they're dragons.
They basically want to lynch all the dragons.
A mob breaks the door down. They're about to come in, and Vimes grabs one of the dragons and uses it as a gun, effectively. It's actually on the thumbnail is a depiction of that, and it's the meme is, you know, I got a dragon here and I'm not afraid to use it. And you know, it's you know, so and I think at that point is when she starts looking at him as something other than just the captain of the watch. But for Vimes, it takes a little longer. I think it's when he sees her stand up to the dragon and tell the dragon to sit. I think it's for Vimes. And what I really like about it is they have mutual respect for each other long before there's any romantic inclination between them. And in fact, at the end of the book is when you first get an inkling that they might actually end up romantically involved.
Yeah, it's not till like right at the end, and it's not like a romance subplot. It's a completely different subplot, and then they end up sort of becoming. Yeah, they end up becoming sort of romantically interested right in the 11th hour.
Yeah, and I think my biggest problem with that is the one, and I think this is why I don't like the fact that they made Ramkin effectively a hottie in the TV series, is because I think she has a right in the book to gain his respect, and then he sees her for what she is, not because of what she looks like, but because of how he knows she thinks. And look, the character in the TV series is very intelligent as well, but I think there's less of that because there's none of that standardized beauty in the book. I think it comes across better. When in the TV series, I keep calling it a movie because I watched it all in one hit. That's why. But in the TV series, you sort of go, oh yeah, she's the pretty love interest. And let's face it, Vimes ain't exactly, you know, Chris Hemsworth, is he?
He's like the scruffy emo. and completely like drunk most of the time. Night's Watchman.
Yeah. So I think look, I don't necessarily disagree with what they did to her character, but I think they could have changed the name. They could have called her Lady.
Yeah. I would have been.
I beat people up down in dark alleyways, and I wouldn't have batted an eyelid because to me, they haven't transferred the character.
Yeah.
They just used the name.
No, you know what it is? Is they use Sybil Ramkin's name with Adorabelle Dearheart's personality.
Yes!
That's what it is. That's why it's so annoying. And they had to use Sybil's name because she's the one who ends up with Vimes, whereas if they'd used Adorabelle, everyone would have been like, hang on, she ends up with Moist One Lipvig.
And if they used Adorabelle, then they couldn't actually bring in Moist or her later.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
They exist in the universe because the Clax is there.
Yes, because they've got the mini Clax in the watch.
They've got the Clax in the watch.
That's what it is.
So that's what's been bugging me. I hadn't been able to put my finger on it. Has this order confirmed?
It was the weapons.
They're preparing my order. Yay!
Yes.
I do get burgers
But it's
tonight.
the weapons because, okay, Sybil has weapons in her household because of her family and her family's history.
Oh, I loved the callback. I was only half watching the screen, but I knew what happened. I love the callback from like the first episode with the trapdoor.
Yes.
When Alice steps on it and then you see her fall down.
Yes. The payoff, yeah. You have to watch the whole season to get the payoff from the tripwire in Lady Ramkin's house. You have to watch literally the last 10 minutes of the last episode to get the payoff for it. But it is worth it.
I was kind of annoyed at how they zapped him out at the end. Like, that was annoying.
I
know why they did it.
Okay, so we're talking two different storylines. So in the book, the storyline is all about the dragon. The dragon gets summoned. The dragon decides to eat the people that summoned him, or her, actually, it ends up being, and decides to install itself as king of Ankh-Morpork.
That is the funniest part.
I just like how they start referring to the dragon as the king.
In the book, they describe what a king should be, and it's like he never carries money. People bring him gifts and tribute and like a bunch of other things. And then when the dragon is installing itself as king, Vimes is like, well, it does fit all these criteria.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. What am I doing with this jacket? That is the question.
But the problem is, it doesn't have chapters. It's very hard to find anything in the book.
Yeah, that does. This is why I dog-ear pages.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually read my hard copy. I listened to it on audiobook because time. But yeah, it's. I do love how and then the finality of the story in the book is the dragon has to be defeated and things have to go back to the way they were. So Lord Vetinari gets put back on his patrician's seat. Can't exactly call it a throne, and and they all sort of go back to life changed, but back the way it was, sort of thing. And sorry. I don't know why I was not sneezy before we started streaming. Mark's probably giving me a cold.
The allergies, it's quite springy today.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and I haven't left the house, so I know I haven't gotten anything. The child brings home, to be honest. Yeah, but in the TV series, they have this subplot of when Vimes was in the Watch, how he joined the Watch, why he joined the Watch, and how he turned on his best friend / brother of the streets.
His gang brother.
And he died. He fell off the tower of the Unseen University into blue lightning and died. And then the whole TV series is about how suddenly he's back. He looks exactly the same age as he did when he died. And he's trying to summon a dragon to destroy the city.
Yeah.
Completely destroy it. Now, the dragon was summoned in the book so that they could create a fake king. Because you needed the king or the hero to slay the dragon so that they can become king.
Yeah.
In the TV series, it's all about I'm going to destroy this entire world because it forgot about me. Is pretty much the storyline.
Yeah, he doesn't have the strongest motivations.
Which it does work.
It works, but it makes you.
Well, it does have stronger motivations. Yeah, when you sort of take into account that he was sort of taken out of time by, I'm assuming it's the auditors again.
Yes.
They're using the because it's just the visualization of all these filing cabinets and that in the TV series to show these sort of otherworldly beings. It just makes me think of the auditors, and they want, for some unknown reason, they want Vimes to be killed or to cause to kill Lady Ramkin. It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with it is the last 2 to 3 episodes, I think they turned around and they went, oh shit, we might not get a second season. We got to wrap this up now. Because it looked like they were building up to a climax, and then all of a sudden they did this weird twist, and they had Vimes sent to a different dimension, and they had a different alternative Vimes come into their dimension, and they're trying to get that Vimes to kill Lady Ramkin, and it's just like, what?
It's a little convoluted.
It went from summoning the dragon to destroy the city to we actually want to destroy this person's, I don't know, this person's moral code. Because
there was something about like if he broke the pattern, then it would cause a catastrophic ripple through all of the multiverse.
Yeah, because they were trying to imply that Vimes would never kill someone ever.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why Vimes didn't kill in the first episode with his friend. He was meant to kill the captain of the guard.
Yeah.
And he refused to. And even in the alternate universe, when they found the worst Vimes in existence and they swapped them, that Vimes refused to kill him. But he was arrested and put in jail when it was his friend that turned on the street. He turned on the deal. Anyway, but so there was this. Yeah, it sort of went from this overarching storyline about the dragon and magic and saving the city to all of a sudden it was about Vimes and Vimes's character and effectively character assassination. Because what were they going to do? If Vimes had actually killed Lady Ramkin, were they just going to swap them back and let the good Vimes just deal with the consequences? Is that what they were going to do?
I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense. But that's what they decided to go with.
Yeah. So it was a bit weird. The ending was a bit weird. And I really do think they've gotten to like the third last episode and gone, shit, we've only got 2 episodes to go. How do we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a shame because I think it was going, I think up to that point it was going really well. And I still did enjoy it. I just sat there thinking there could have been so much more they could have done. And then finally the way they dealt with the dragon.
Yeah.
It was just an excuse to get their guitars out again.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see it coming when Chewie walks back through the
yeah.
What's her name? Is it Cheery?
Cheery, yeah.
Cheery? Yeah, when she walks back through the door.
But also too, though, it's it was a good payoff to them being admitted into the Musicians Guild and stuff like that. It was a good payoff with all that. And it also too, in a way, works with the book because in the book, Good Boy is in the book. Vimes actually adopts Good Boy because he feels sorry for him.
Yeah.
And he ends up and then Good Boy ends up saving the day. But Good Boy in the book doesn't need music to get the dragon's attention.
No.
Good Boy
he's like gorging and doing all this stuff. There's a lot more lead
There's a
up.
lot more build up to what Good Boy actually is and where Good Boy is actually going.
Yeah.
Because Good Boy because he can fly. Okay, in the TV series, his growth is stunted because he was shoved in a lamppost to keep the fire burning in the lamppost. And she rescues him. Like Ramkin rescues him, and that's why she has a dragon. But in the book, Lady Ramkin breeds swamp dragons, and he is like
he's like
she was thinking of, a runt or a throwback or something. There's something wrong with him. He can't fly. He can't. He's very weirdly proportioned. He's got maybe. And then she's like, "Oh, I didn't want to lose the bloodline. I was thinking of breeding him, but now I'm not so sure." All that sort of stuff. And Vimes feels really sorry for him, and so he ends up adopting him. And and for all the stuff that he read about dragons and all this, he pretty much just lets the dragon do what it wants, and it eats everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It even ate a black kettle.
Eats a kettle. Eats a jar of...
Actually says to Ramkin at one point, it ate a kettle. And she's like, oh, what was in the kettle? No. He ate the kettle, not a kettle full of stuff. Not a kettle worth of tea. He ate the kettle. And it works out that he's fiddling around with his intestines to create a furnace in there, effectively, which for reasons, which read the book, Laurel, because it's worth it. The payoff is worth it.
Even though we're doing like all of the spoilers.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's my biggest disappointment. Is I liked in the book, and considering it was one of the early Discworlds, when Pratchett was still learning his craft, then it's certainly, and it's, it surprises me that the TV series didn't take more of the plot from it, because the plot is quite. I just saw someone walk past in the shades. I saw a shadow in your shades.
I didn't see.
So now she's going to sit there and make me hungry by eating burger and chips.
It came. Maybe. If you go get the sauce. Any sauce.
You're going to make me hungry, and I've already eaten dinner.
Fuck yeah. You like small sauce?
Well, you said any sauce. Obviously, you didn't need any sauce.
I mean, you can bring that one as well. Also bring something to pour it into. Oh, this is good.
That does look good.
Thank you, Mab. How do you... I can't be bothered making ham fries now, or they're just regular fries. Regular chips.
Now I want chips. I think I got some chippies. Yeah. I might have to get out of this nice, comfy, warm bed and go get some chippies.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm screaming from the bedroom tonight because it is fucking cold in the garage. The problem is we had one of our heaters break literally 2 days before the start of spring, and the company we bought them from, Bunnings, is pretty much only stocks them at the start of winter every year, so we haven't been able to get a replacement. So we swapped the broken heater out of Morgan's room, put our heater into hers, and put the garage heater into our bedroom, which means the garage is freezing cold.
Mm. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh,
That's
dear.
really
Well, I'll just say, is there anything else that we wanted to say about the book and the TV series?
We covered characters. We had the question of characters that we liked from the book. I fucking love Lord Veterinary and everything that they're in.
Yes. Although I'm just going to I'm just going to think of Lord Veterinary as female, because I also really like the actress that plays.
She's
Veterinary.
good.
I've always liked her as an actress. I just think she's brilliant. So you're making me hungry. I'm going to go get something that isn't chocolate.
Do it.
I'm pretty sure I've got some crisps, actually. And to be honest, I need to move because my knee is...
And now we come to the interval where you may go get snacks, refill, before you dive into part 2. While we're in interval, I will sit here eating a burger. Because I can. Damn, it's good. It's good shit.
You were not comfy. So I've got 2 cats that are spread eagled on the bed in front of the heater. I'll bet you any money the minute I open it. Oh no. It looks like he might actually sleep. He is also doped up on Panadol, so we have 2-year-old molars coming through. So let me just move that out of the way so it doesn't get covered in chippies. Okay. So yeah, Lord Veterinary. I love Lord Veterinary.
The whole scene in the dungeon.
Terry Pratchett wrote so much about Ankh-Morpork because this is an excuse to write about Lord Veterinary.
Definitely. The whole scene where he's in the dungeon is just such a brilliant, like, window into how his mind works.
Okay, so let's talk about the differences between that scene in the TV series and in the book. So in the book, he is sent to his own dungeon. Now, he says in both of them, there's the quote, "Never build a dungeon you wouldn't want to be put in yourself."
Yes.
Right. In the book, in the dungeon, it's a relatively nice dungeon. It's clean. But there's the rats, the snakes, and the scorpions? No.
Yeah.
Oh. And so Veterinary negotiates. Not advises. Advises.
There's the description earlier on about how he'd been calmly escorted to the dungeons. And it describes like how willing he was to go. And then later on you find out why. because it's literally the safest place in the city while there's a dragon.
But yeah, so he's down there. He has helped. He has advised the rats on how to deal with the snakes and the scorpions. And as a thank you, the rats go and find him food and bring back bottles of wine and books and all that sort of stuff for him to make his stay a little bit more comfortable. But they can't read, so it's usually a bit of a guesswork as to what they get.
Mm.
At one point, he picks up the bottle of wine and goes, "Oh, this is a nice bottle," and offers it to Vines.
Wasn't it brown sauce?
Oh, I can't remember.
It was meant to be beer, and they brought him a really nice brown sauce.
Oh yeah, getting dressed is hard. We had pajama day at home. We had pajama day at home today. In the TV series, there's a cell in the watch house that has always been locked. No one has access to it. Not even Vines has the key. Lord Vetinari turns up and goes, "Well, as the patrician, if I cannot keep my people safe, then I should be put in jail until the situation is resolved." And he goes, "Oh, well, I can't put you in there because it's locked and I don't even have the key." And she unlocks. She has the key. So it's unlocked, and it is a luxurious apartment, which actually sort of suits the show. It really does suit the show, actually. He's sitting in there on a comfy couch, drinking a fizzy wine or whatever with her earphones on, listening to music, all during the climax of the TV series. So we've lost Charlotte. She's completely got a food baby now.
Yum.
Okay. So I reckon we should start winding up on guards because we're pretty much talked it out now.
Oh, one other key difference, which I kind of think they did her a bit dirty in the show, but once completely changed.
Sorry, what did?
Once. So in the book, Once is the advisor, like the secretary for Vetinari. And has a very key role in the goings on with the dragon. And in the show, they've changed it to a woman, which is great, but she's like a magician, a wizard who got left and then became a cleaner in the library and stuff.
Yeah.
And
they make out that she was learning to be a wizard, and because she was a woman or something, she wasn't happy with how she was treated or something. So she ended up, she couldn't become a wizard because she was female. So she got a job as a cleaner, and she taught herself magic in the school.
Anyway, then she has a full character arc, and the librarian doesn't show up enough in the show.
Oh, I love the librarian. The librarian is a guard. He's sworn in as a guard in the book.
Yeah.
So there's an orangutan walking around the city of Ankh-Morpork with a guard badge.
The only word that they say is "ook."
Yeah. Okay. Technically, it's because of the emergency situation. They're allowed to swear citizens in temporarily. But are you going to ask for the badge back? I'm not.
Nope. Oh, God. Right, I really need to wash my hands after that, so stand by.
Yum, these chips are good. So, yeah. So, come watch a live stream. We'll just sit here and eat chips. Just let me check on my babies. Sorry, just checking. So, okay, so the watch very clearly states it's inspired by the characters of Terry Pratchett. Yeah. So they do get away with subverting and changing a lot. But I actually think if they'd kept the general storyline of the book and done what they did with some of the characters, made some of them female, brought in some of the ones from the future books, I still think it would have been a great TV series.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, maybe they'll make a separate one. It's really an adaptation one day.
Because the problems I have with a lot of the characters, which is kind of ironic considering that the representation is so good in it, is that they did change some of the female characters to completely different, like Lady Ramkin. My only issue, these are the only issues with my TV series, I think it could have been better served if they'd stuck a little bit closer to the plot. And as part of that, Lady Ramkin, her backstory as being the swamp dragon breeder, there's nothing wrong with that. They didn't have to change that to get her involved. Now, that one's a bit sneezy.
Rude. So rude.
Nothing wrong with eating Vegemite straight from the jar. Just ask Mark.
Exactly. Mark's got it right.
My only problem is when he takes the kid's knife that he's got and he sticks it back in after he's licked it. That's my only problem.
I mean, I do that sometimes with like the spoon that I'm using, but no one else is eating my Vegemite, so I'm allowed to.
Yeah, no, and we have family Vegemite. Okay,
yeah.
So my biggest issues in the TV series is the subversion of a couple of the characters. Both of them are female. Because I reckon if they had kept to a similar storyline with how the dragon was summoned in the book and why the dragon was summoned in the book, I think it would have made a really good, strong story. And that's where the female character that taught herself magic actually would have worked better being put back in the job that she did have. Maybe just make her female.
They just needed to get rid of the whole gang plot line.
Yeah, I think that was a play at making it make a bit more sense to the younger generation. These are the people I grew up with. These are my friends. These are my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in the book, Vimes goes, "Oh, he grew up with this person. They just ended up on different trajectories."
That's how he recognizes once.
Yeah. Well, in the book, they actually work with each other. Like, because at one point, he's once says in the book, "Oh, I'll get the night watch to deal with that," and Veterinary goes, "The night watch? What?" And it's like, well, because he knows Vimes, he's going to get him to deal with it. So it sort of implies that he's done stuff in the past and he's gone and gotten the night watch to deal with something in the past.
Yeah.
When in the TV series,
it's like,
the backstory of Vimes in the TV series. This is what I don't get though, because the backstory for Vimes in the TV series is all of the crew, all of the gang has been put in jail except for Vimes and his best mate.
Yeah.
So Vimes goes undercover and joins the watch to get the rest of them out. But wouldn't he have been known to the watch as a member of that crew?
Yeah, you would think they would have thought of that, but as Sage so aptly stated, they waved the book in the general direction of the writer's room.
Yeah. But with the storyline in the book is, yes, they know each other and yes, they grew up together, but it just implies that they grew up in the same neighborhood and knew each other.
Well, they grew up as sort of like the group of kids hanging around together.
Went to the same school or something,
Yeah.
They knew each other well enough that they know each other's name and they knew where their parents lived, sort of thing. But they weren't chummy.
They did describe it, I think, in the book as a gang of sorts, but it wasn't like a gang. It was like a group of kids, and once was the one who came up with what else they were going to do, so they didn't pick on him.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Actually, the Goonies would fit quite well in a Terry Pratchett book. But yeah. So yeah, I did that. That part of the change of the backstory just didn't make sense to me. It just, yeah. And I think as a consequence, the female version of that character sort of lost out a bit.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said they kind of done her dirty a bit in the show.
Yeah. And then they also did her a dirty in the show because she looks like she's on a redemption path. She looks like she's going to change and become good. And then they go, "Oh, no, we're just going to blame you for everything." What? And that really annoyed me. Give us a second season, please, doesn't it? Give us a second season, please, so we can right the wrongs.
So they can write her as the villain.
Yeah, but or her or arc during or Vimes discovers that there's a missing part of his memory and they have to bring it back or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it was one of those unfortunate plot twists that just makes everything very convenient.
Makes everything really annoying.
Yes.
As well.
It's one of those, it was Agatha all along, but Agatha actually wasn't all along. She's just gotten the short end of the stick.
Yeah, because they erased the other one from time.
And no, she didn't really kill the dog. It's living in her backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, final thoughts.
I enjoyed it as a show. As a show that had sort of Ankh-Morpork aesthetic and vibes without it being
love the aesthetic. The punk rock aesthetic was gorgeous.
The aesthetic was so good. I loved Vimes. Like, the way that they did that character design was perfect. I really loved... Oh, this is something I haven't talked about. I really loved Cheery, the dwarf, and the werewolf. They were two of, like, the best characters other than Vimes in the show. Carrot, on the other hand, was way more irritating in the TV show than he ever was in the book.
I think that was intentional, but
I think it was.
What I love about the carrot in the TV series versus the carrot in the book is the carrot in the book does come across a little bit as the stupid hero. But in the TV series, Carrot learns. Carrot adapts. And there's one line in the TV series that I can remember her name. The werewolf says to Carrot at one point, "You're not just human. If you were, you would have either tried to kill me or run away." And I think that really gives you a look into what the character of Carrot could potentially be. And I love the name Carrot. And just because he's shaped like a carrot, you know.
Yeah.
That's why he was called Carrot. But I think
he's also a redhead.
Yeah. But what I liked was that he was sort of the representation of the everyday human in the team. You know, the new kid on the block, you know, coming in, going for himself. But he is so
like Pratchett satirizing the hero's journey in a character.
Yeah, but what I liked about him in the TV series is that he took every punch. Like, it was, oh, my commander is a werewolf. Oh, that's fine. I'll just get over that and keep moving on. Oh, that's a she. Okay, cool. It's a she.
Yeah.
Cool. She's a she. I'll just move on. You know, oh, the sergeant's a troll. Yep, cool. No worries. You know, he's just so accepting of everyone and everything around him that it's just a non-issue. You know, and I do like that. I like that a lot.
I did like that as well. The what irritated me about his character was that he went from he was just like kind of annoyingly self-assured in like the classic straight white man way. Which I think was deliberate, and I think that's why he annoyed me so much, but doesn't mean it's a badly written character.
But I also like how he is a straight white guy, and yet everyone else around him is not straight or doesn't present as straight or has some sort of issue.
He's like the one.
He's just like, yeah, cool, no worries.
He's the one sort of, I guess, he's like the one rep of that.
Yes, I was about to say that he's the one rep. Yes. When so often it's the other way around.
Yeah. I guess that was. We were going on to final thoughts, weren't we?
Yeah. Well, that's one hell of a final thought. I'm sure Vaughn's going to appreciate that.
Well, good book. Worth reading. I gave it 5 stars on Storygraph, or whatever it's called. Vimes as a character to read in the book is sensational. Not quite. It hasn't quite been my favorite Discworld book, but it's up there. I'll probably definitely reread it at some point.
I think it's very obvious it's one of the first ones.
Yeah, it hasn't taken the favorite spot away from going postal, but it's definitely more of a favorite than some of the other ones that I've started and haven't managed to finish, like Color of Magic and one of the Tiffany A. King books, which I realized after I had not been able to finish it was because it was not the first Tiffany A. King book and I picked up in the wrong spot, and that's why I had no idea what was going on.
And I would also suggest to not read Color of Magic first, even though it is the first book written. It's just it's not up to the quality that Going Postal was. You can actually see in the course of the Discworld novels from Color of Magic all the way up to the last one, you can actually see what it means to be a published author and still improving.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I also think it does also reverse and show that your first book doesn't actually have to be perfect for it to be publishable.
Yeah.
Which is something this idiot has to learn sometime.
Yeah, I think it's across the board thing. The reason I was sneezing so much, thank you for the bless you, Laurel, I just saw that, was because the bubbles from the ginger ale would go sort of up my nose. Just roll with it.
So I think, to be honest, I liked Guards. It's worth the read. Do bear in mind that if it is your first Terry Pratchett, it is not his best. But I still enjoyed it enough to read it and want to reread it again, because I did like it, and it's got those little flashes of brilliance that come out better in Going Postal that he was sort of just refining at the time he wrote this. And, and in regards to the TV series The Watch it. Do watch it. You don't have to have read the book to watch it. Bear in mind.
I think you actually enjoy it more. I think you actually enjoy it more if you haven't read the book.
Yes, I think so too. I started watching it about 3 or 4 times, and I kept stopping. And I think my biggest issue was I was sitting there to myself going, this is not Guards. And once I went, no, okay, it isn't Guards. It's just a TV series using some of Pratchett's characters. It ended up pretty much up near Good Omens for me when it comes to TV series. Once I got over it.
Yeah. It's a fun show. There's some random weird stuff in the plot in the last couple of episodes, but it's a fun show overall. I watched episode 1, didn't really enjoy it that much because I hadn't quite finished the book. And then I watched episode 2 with my housemate who has read Terry Pratchett but hasn't read Guards. And I think I was like, no, you don't have to have read the book before seeing this. You'll probably enjoy it more. And so then we enjoyed watching that episode quite a lot. There were some issues still with it, but we sort of were commentating on it, which was really fun. And then I watched episode 3 after she went to bed, and then I watched all the rest today. And after episode 2, I basically enjoyed the entire show.
Yeah.
So if you get stuck in the first episode, keep going with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I struggled with the first episode about 3, 4 times. And, but I think it's worth it. It's worth persevering. I do think it ended not as strongly as its middle. I mean, it's one of those rare TV series that didn't have a saggy middle, that had a saggy end.
Had a bit of a saggy end. Yeah. It's funny as well because I said somewhere in Discord today on the Author Pals one that I was watching The Watch for the thing tonight, and I can't remember who it was. Someone was like, oh, Terry Pratchett fans hate that show. And I just replied with, not all of them.
You know what? If you're a Terry Pratchett fan and you hate that show, then you're missing the point of Terry Pratchett.
And you're missing the point of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the point of the show was not to be a direct adaptation.
No, it was just take some characters, take a couple of story elements, and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And and it's sort of at the same time, it's like the representation you see in that TV series is the stuff Pratchett wanted to write
and did write.
It was before he passed away. I mean, he was saying like he loved how people see themselves represented in characters when he never even thought of it. But because he wrote the character in such a way, someone sees themselves in that character, it gives them something to relate to, and so seeing the representation that was in the TV series, I reckon he would have gone, yep.
He would have loved it. He would have loved it. And that's what kind of irritates me about the whole Pratchett fans hate the show, is because before it was coming out, all of the stuff that I saw about it only made me want to watch it more. And it was the stuff like the butthurt straight white men annoyed that they weren't every single character.
Yeah.
Suddenly, because they diversified some of the cast. And they played up elements that were there in the text and had been interpreted by readers in the text. And they went with that interpretation rather than the sort of male, average, boring white point of view that was just bland.
You know what? I could see Pratchett sitting down to a new Discworld novel and writing in that Lord Vetinari had gone and had a sex change.
Yeah.
Because she could.
Yeah.
And to me, that just would have, and as a result of this TV series, because he would have seen it and gone, that's brilliant. And done it. Because he was like that. That was.
Yeah. It's, the majority of the critique that I've seen of the show is based on complaining about diversity and complaining about it not being a direct adaptation, neither of which the show is trying to do. Like, it's not trying to be a boring white fantasy, and it's not trying to be a direct adaptation.
Which is why when I say I struggled because it wasn't a direct adaptation, I'm not saying that to say it was a bad show. I'm just saying it took me a while to get it into my head that it wasn't a direct adaptation. And once I figured that out, I knew it wasn't a direct adaptation, but your heart wants it to be one because you love the story so much.
Yeah. And I had the same thing. The thing I struggled with was because it wasn't because they changed characters, it was because they changed the plot so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I really liked the guild of the group of
yes. Can't even think of it now, with the Grand Master in it. Yeah.
The Supreme Grand Master of the
that was brilliant. And look, to be honest, that would have fitted. But it wouldn't necessarily have resonated with modern watchers.
Yeah. And I think as well, one of the problems I had in the first episode was it had felt like it had lost a lot of the Pratchett humor.
Yeah.
It was like they just didn't feel like there was a lot in that first episode.
But
as the show went on, it got quite a lot of that in there. So in the first episode, there wasn't a lot in there, but there was enough after the first episode that it really sort of began to capture the feel a lot better.
They were just finding their feet in the first episode, I think.
Yeah.
But also, too, they had to appeal to an audience that hadn't necessarily read Pratchett. So, you had to get suckered in first. But you know what? I think they pulled off Vines so well.
Oh, so well.
The rest of it doesn't matter. Vines is perfect.
I like this, Laurel. Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching Wheel of Time. when it comes out. It's out in November, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need to add the first Wheel of Time to our book club list, actually.
I was actually looking at it. The other day going, I should really start reading that, because I always promised myself I would read the series
once it was done.
when it was complete.
Yeah.
Because I started reading it. I was up to the 5th book, which was always the 5th book is a slog.
Yeah.
It's a filler. And I found out that Robert Jordan died, and I went, that's it, I'm not reading the rest. And then they finished it. Then Brandon Sanderson came in and finished it. So I can read it now. It's why I haven't started reading Game of Thrones, is because I'm petrified that George R.R. Martin will cark it before finishing it. I'm going to read them when he's finished the series.
Which will be another decade or so at his current rate.
I honestly think he's written himself into a corner and he can't quite work out how to get out of it.
Yeah, Winter was meant to be out like 3 years ago.
Yeah. He keeps saying, I just can't get this scene right. I can't get something right. So it's like, he's written himself into a corner. He needs time to think about it.
And considering that he is a pantser with that much world, it's not surprising.
I'm petrified I'm going to do that to myself, because I am a pantser. And I kind of know where my book series is going, but I'm kind of petrified I'm going to write myself into a corner and not be able to finish it. But you know what? I subscribe to the old Stephen King. You know, if there's a gun. Oh, that's not Stephen King. He does quote it though when he's on writing. Yeah, you use the gun in Act 3. So just got to make sure I describe things the way.
So what I do with that is I just use whatever guns I want to in Act 3, and then I go back and put them on the mantelpiece in Act 1.
The rains are here, Marge. The rains are here. Sorry, for our overseas viewers, there's an ad where an old geezer out in the country, you know, dry as a bone country, and all of a sudden he hears rain on the roof. He's like, Marge, the rains are here. It's really just the kids eating corn on the cob. But yeah, just started
it's
pissing
like
down outside.
1300 6556. How to find an Aussie overseas? Just say 1300, and someone, if there's an Australian nearby, will finish it with 6556, which is the reading and writing hotline for adults.
Yes.
This is an advert that everyone knows.
And
whoever wrote that jingle really deserved the paycheck they got.
Well, the whole point is people couldn't read or write. How were they going to remember it?
Yeah.
It had to be catchy. So, yeah. So if I suddenly cut out, it's because the storm's affecting my life. So I think we've pretty much covered guards now. I think both are worth reading and watching. I just think you can't go into watching The Watch assuming it's going to be the guards.
Yeah. Go into it as a separate entity. Enjoy the hell out of the fabulous dwarf and the awesome werewolf and the incredibly drunk Vimes.
Oh, can we talk about the dark? The dark in the dark.
That was so good.
Oh, I just love that scene where she figures out what it is. And she's, oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
And then she comes back and they're like, why is it chasing us now?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's happened to George R.R. I would not be surprised. Happens to me.
Yeah, that's why I only just gotten up to a second draft, because I've rewritten this book like 3 or 4 times for Project Space.
Only 3 or 4 times.
Well, individual scenes range from 3 or 4 to 10 or 12, but as a whole, the entire plot structure has changed probably more than 3 or 5 times.
My
The
book originally
entire
started
plot
off as
has
a military
changed.
sci-fi.
Mine started off sounding very YA and very
Mine started off as a
first
military sci-fi, and now it is very much not a military sci-fi.
Yeah. Mine started off as a first-person YA, and now it's a very adult third person with multiple POVs. Anyway, better ideas.
Excuse me.
I changed the entire plot within like 2 or 3 days of starting writing that book. So,
Can you hear that?
and then I changed it again, and then again.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh wow.
Baby girl. So sleepy.
Oh.
My little chubby chunks went up into size 0s today.
Oh wow.
And I was
She's
actually
grown.
contemplating just putting her into size 1s. Because I put her in a 0. But then I put her on I put a size 1 t-shirt on and I went, yeah, no, too big.
Yeah. She will be there in no time, I reckon.
Yeah, she'll be in 1s by Christmas. She's my little chubby. She's not just chubby, she's tall, just like her brother. I was moving him up size ranges clothes. I was moving several months in advance, so I'm not surprised I'm doing the same with her. Let's put it this way. When daddy's at work, the kids will be able to reach things that mummy can't.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I overtook mum in height at the age of about 10. She was in denial till I was about 13, though, and it was no longer deniable because I was like a foot taller.
My mum's a fair bit shorter than me, my sister, but my sister's like a quarter of an inch taller than me. So it's like, she's like, I'm taller than you. Bear in mind, she's like 8 years my junior. But I'm like, yeah, but I'm your senior. You know?
For about 3 years, every time I stood next to mum, she would insist that the soles of my shoes were just really thick.
I don't have a problem with heights.
Pardon?
I said I don't have a problem with, the height. Like, I'll freely admit that I am relatively short in compared to my husband. My only issue is that when he's not around to get the stuff that he put up high, I cannot reach the tops of the cupboards in our kitchen. The two shelves in the top cupboards, can't reach them.
Yeah. My colleague who I've been training to pack orders at work is like significantly shorter than I am and can't reach the top shelf where we keep all of the satchels for actually packing the orders. So she has to get them from down the bottom where we have the refills.
You'll have to get him one of the Audi steps.
Yeah. Oh, we've actually got a little like two-step ladder.
Yeah.
Might get a bit too much work though. Trying to stick something in a satchel.
You figure out you're going to need a pole, so you grab a pole, you bring them down, you do what you need to do, and then you put what you don't use back.
Well, we've got the refills in our drawers underneath the desk as well, so she just uses those from there. Oh, that burger was so good.
Yeah. You look like you enjoyed it.
Perfect amount.
So, okay, so what is next month? Next month is the Obelisk Gates, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Book
I
2.
tried to start to reread 5th season because I wanted to reread it before I started, and I instantly had issues with it again because I think I said this when we first read it last year. Is the opening scene?
The opening
with
scene.
Dead son. I'm just like,
Just skip through to like chapter 3 or 4 and just remember what's happened.
Yeah. What I did was I chucked it on the audiobook, and I'll just let it play in the background, and then I can sort of tune out the area I didn't really want to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Her writing, she does a brilliant job. That's the problem. She does too good a job.
Yeah.
Writing about the effect of the son's death on the mother. And I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that because I haven't started my re-listen yet. But
yeah.
Oofed.
And then what's after that? Then it's Darker Shade.
Darker Shade of Magic.
That's right. And then we've got the Sleeper and the Spindle for December.
Yes.
So maybe we should do Wheel of Time in January, because Sleeper and the Spindle is really going to be short. So that will give a nice short one before a big chunk of book.
Oh, can I do a big chunk in January? That is my question, because I'll have rehearsals and moving house.
And I think you can pretty much assume that you're not going head in October.
It's looking unlikely.
Well, they're releasing the roadmap on Sunday, so we'll know.
Yeah, I've got rehearsal tomorrow. I still haven't finished the bloody song. I've got rehearsal tomorrow, and then roadmap on Sunday, and after that, hopefully, we will know.
Yeah, and well, maybe. See, I would suggest if you're moving house, it would be the perfect thing, because you could put it on whilst you're packing.
This is true, but I'm moving on like the 18th, so
yeah. Well, maybe we'll do it for Feb then.
For what?
Maybe we'll do it for February.
Potentially, yeah.
And we'll just find something else for January.
Well, the other option is I can just start reading it in advance in December, because I've already read Sleeper and the Spindle, so it won't take me long to reread it. I've listened to the audiobook, and it's only like 4 hours.
It is the most beautiful book. I'm so glad I bought the physical one.
Where did you get it? Because I've got to get a copy.
I just did Amazon. Unfortunately, I've got to jump on tonight too. With Australia Post the way it is, I just cannot afford to go to a small bookseller at the moment, because I just won't get anything. I've actually got to buy. I've got to get some books for Christmas for the family. So, because what I do is I think is it Nordic or something. There's a tradition where you give a book on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that one.
Is it Nordic? No.
It's somewhere near there, yeah.
I heard about it one year.
Scandinavia?
Yeah, something like that. And I heard about it one year, and I went, I am doing that, because I wanted Mark to read more. I know you should see David owns more books than I do at the moment, because I lost a lot of books in moves, and he's got a ridiculous amount of Titanic books.
Oh, that's right.
So every year I just find him a Titanic book he doesn't own, and I buy him a new Titanic book. And we're talking everything from the fiction written around the Titanic to the physical stuff about like the ship and how it was built. And then I'm looking at them all. Character, stories about the survivors and all that sort of stuff. So, any type of Titanic book.
Iceland.
Yeah.
Icelandic.
And the idea is that
I just started Googling books for Christmas Eve origin. And when I got to like CHRI S, I think it was, of like Christmas.
Yeah.
It suggested the autofill of books for Christian girls. And I was like, Google, it's like you don't know me at all.
Yeah. Oh, geez. But yeah, because I love the idea. Obviously, when the kids are a bit older, it's going to be more that kind of thing. But I just love the idea of just saying, "Here's your book. Open your book. Let's have dinner. Let's maybe sit. Let's have like a family antipasto platter or something because it's summer, so we're not going to want to eat anything heavy." And just sit down and just quietly read our books or watch a movie together, or when I was a kid growing up, if my parents had given me a book on Christmas Eve and just said, go enjoy, I would have been pig in shit. I would have just loved that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And
I've got my little artist who loves to read.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
As particularly if it's a book that you're really wanting to read.
Yeah. Because I'm doing it for us all. I buy the books. I buy the book for me. And I think last year I got myself Untold Resilience. Have you seen that? I haven't read it yet.
I don't think so.
Untold Resilience. It's a book about. It's just short stories about women surviving just the stuff women have survived over the years. And apparently, I haven't read it, but apparently there is a piece in there from a woman that survived the Spanish flu pandemic.
Oh, wow. That would be good.
You know what? I'm talking about it, and it's just over here. Give me a sec. Oh.
I'm going to try sew a cuff on.
Right next to my Total Cat Mojo by Jackson. Yeah. So I haven't read it yet, but I just wanted to have it so I could sit down and read it.
Yeah.
And so it's a timely, uplifting book of true stories from 19 women whose resilience has seen them survive extraordinary global and personal tragedy. What does it take to find courage in the midst of deprivation and devastation? Why are some people able to continue living with purpose even when faced with loss and despair? Based on hours of interviews from their homes during lockdown, in Untold Resilience, an all-female journalist team at Future Woman uncovers the real-life accounts of a diverse and fascinating collection of women. With warmth and candor, these 19 ordinary yet truly remarkable individuals share their experiences of pandemic, poverty, famine, war, violence, and discrimination. So, I think it's going to be a very interesting book to read when I get around to it.
Yeah. That does sound good.
But now I've got to find something for myself. Although I heard of another book recently that I'm very interested in getting my hands on. It's called Dear Son. And it's Aboriginal fathers writing to their sons about their experiences in being Aboriginals. And I thought,
that does sound good as well.
That's something I would want. That's something I would want my kids to read so they could see what kind, the differences and.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might have to get that. I might just get that in general and just put that in the general library collection. That library collection that is technically out of someone's reach so that he deliberately goes and reads it.
Oh, that's clever.
Oh well, right next to the graphic novel Lighter Than My Shadow, which is all about depression and abuse and food. She was a bulimic, I think.
Oh yeah. Eating disorders.
Fascinating. If you ever get a chance, jump on Etsy because Katie sells it on Etsy. Katie Green, it's called Lighter Than My Shadow, and it's a graphic novel, and it is this, I'm not kidding you, it is this thick. It is huge. It's about, I think it's about 400 or 500 pages long, A4 size. It's huge. But it is it is worth the read. It really is.
Yeah, it sounds good. So we've got Obelisk Gate, Dark Shade of Magic.
Yep.
Sleeper in the Spindle, and then maybe Wheel of Time, but we'll see how we're going by the time we get there.
It's also going to be summer, so I really can't see. Maybe we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
If something else crops up in the meantime.
Well, the first season will be out by then, so
yeah,
I'll have been able to watch.
Doesn't mean I'll necessarily get to watch it straight away.
I probably will.
I'll try to, but you know. I mean, I've got a pile of AuthorTube books I haven't read yet.
I don't really buy a lot of AuthorTube books.
I've been buying them to support. Not necessarily to read, because a lot of them are YA. Yeah. So I'm
that's why I don't buy much of them, because they're just not what I read.
Yeah, but my theory is that I might not read them, but they're there for the kids. So at least I know they're going to potentially get read.
Well, some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them you might want to read first, like
Good luck, Laurel, with that herding preschoolers. Ooh. It's like herding cats.
Oh dear, you got this.
Yeah, I will still read them first, I think. But
yeah,
you know what? I was actually thinking about that today. And to be honest, my mum never went and read the books that I read to make sure they were okay. I mean, and don't forget, I grew up in an era where there was no such thing as YA.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't thinking more like content wise. I was thinking more like writing quality wise.
That's
no one we know. But
no, yeah. To be honest, at the end of the day, when it comes down to writing quality, you always see faults in what other people write because you're distanced from it.
Yeah.
It's not because it's bad. It's just that you've got a certain amount of distance from it. Like, for instance, I'm going through a tech editing situation at the moment where my tech editor, lovely, lovely lady, she just sent back my formatted knitting pattern, which I'm hoping to release in the next week or so. And she goes, "Oh, you've just got a few typos." And I'm like, typos? I've gone over this damn thing 15 times, and it's only like 16 pages. But the point is I don't see the typos because I know what I'm intending to say, not what I've actually typed. And that's obviously, too, why they say when you're revising, you really need to put your book down for a while and just not read it, because you've got to come back with fresh eyes. And so I always I always expect people to take my criticisms of novels as a reader, not as a writer, because I can tell you now, I can't do grammar for fucking shit. My grammar is ridiculous. I need help working out where to put a comma, for crying out loud, sometimes. And that doesn't mean my story is any less worth reading. It just means I need help with grammar. You know? Sorry, rant there. Is that an unpopular opinion?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only beef is like when people have like diversity that's done really badly, or like plots that just don't make sense, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, look, for instance, I've started reading The Season of Darkness, which some people watching the stream and watching it on replay may know some of the authors in this book.
Might be a little bit knowing them.
And yeah, but see, the thing is though, is for me, I would want you to read my piece and give me criticism, whether you loved, hated it, whether you thought something needed changing, because to me that's how I learn to be better. So I don't see the point in pulling my punches. And I don't mean that as a nasty thing. I'm not trying to diss someone. I'm not trying to tear them down. I'm just trying to say, hey, I don't see why you need this bit. you either have to be able to justify it in the piece or don't use it at all, sort of thing. And that's what I'm like. One of the short stories I've read one so far, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just think it could have been tighter, and that's not necessarily bad criticism, because I've read 1,200-page novels that I thought could have been tightened up too. So, and they're traditionally published, not self-published. So I find this thing about not reviewing self-published authors a bit on the nose, because as a self-published author, I want you to read and review my book, because that's how people find out about it. I want to send it to the Cindy's and the Jess. She's pretty much a reader tube, so send it, and I want them to read it and I want them to review it. And if they do DNF it, I want them to say why they DNF it, not just, I didn't read that book. Because how else am I meant to grow as an author if people don't actually comment on my work? And the problem, and I think that's the problem with people feeling like they can't say bad things about AuthorTube books, is because they think they're personally attacking the author. You're not. You're just discussing the book. So Charlotte is very intent there.
Oh, I just mute it so you couldn't hear all of my just because the thing is really loud. Like,
sorry, I just went on a full-on rant there.
No, that's
you see, I can rant sober, people. I can rant very sober.
What was I going to say? Oh, I did just remember though. We do have our April or March.
Yes, I saw that.
Booked in.
Yeah, but we'll leave that one as a surprise until we physically have the book, I think.
Yes. And it is one where we may know some more details than the general public.
I reckon we have a very good chance of convincing that author to come on, and we could maybe do an author chat after we do the review of the book.
Oh, fuck.
You just sewed it inside out?
No, I should have used the zigzag stitch.
Oh, shit.
Now the debate is, do I sew over it while it's in place? Because I feel like I'm just going to bust the seam now.
Can you sew the zigzag stitch on and then unpick the straight stitch?
Yeah, that's what I think I might try and do. But not until I've tried it on and seen if the sleeve works. Because I may have to adjust it more anyway, in which it's worth just unpicking.
So yeah, so that is probably one of my most unpopular opinions. Is I don't think that, and I'm saying this because I want people to make the same call on my books when I do eventually get them published. Is I don't want them to be handled with kid gloves. I want you to read them and tell me what you think, whether you liked, whether you hated, what you thought could have been done better, what you thought was done well. Because, I mean, we're sitting here reviewing Terry Pratchett. Yes, he's passed away, but he's just because his books were published by a company doesn't mean they're any better or any worse than, I'm looking at my Wild Spirit by Victoria Wren or Alethea by Megan Tennant. I mean,
yeah. The indie pub is not the marker of quality. There's a lot of shit. So, traditional publishers.
Yeah. I think also too, though, I think there's a bit of a hangover. I do still think there is, and I saw this grow from day one. There's been this huge issue with being a self-published author, and that is that it's perceived as vanity publishing.
Yeah.
And Vanity publishing is a very, very different thing to actual self-published, because vanity publishing is I've written a book, it's all done, it's perfect, I'm just going to put it out there. When self-published is you've set up a business, you're dealing with it professionally, you're engaging, professional people to help you make your novel the best it could be. How is that any different to you handing a novel to a company that makes all those decisions for you?
Yeah, I want to do trad pub, not because I think it's better,
nothing wrong with it,
but because I can't be asked doing all of those things myself. That is the main reason I want a trad pub, is because I don't want to learn how to do all of it properly myself.
Well, so, you've seen how long it's taken me just to get some semblance of a front cover that I like.
Yeah.
It's taken me months of thinking about it, months of designing in my head, and then over a week with Emmy's help, I've managed to get it what I like. There's still things I could tweak on it, but I also reckon that if I keep tweaking, I'm going to ruin it.
Yeah.
So there's a point where I've just got to stop. And look, and I could go and pay someone to do a cover for me, but you know what? I can't afford it. There's a reason I went and bought the affinity programs when they were on sale on Black Friday sales. I nearly said Black Saturday then. Black Friday sales at half price was because they're a one-off purchase and I can learn how to use them and just get better at it.
I'm doing a stitch over the top because it fitted pretty well.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm trying to do it like directly over the top. So that hopefully I'll be able to unpick it relatively easily.
I won't be doing a craft night tomorrow night.
Pardon?
I won't be doing a craft night tomorrow night because I'll actually have my husband home and I do need to talk to him at some point.
Oh, that was the one. That was the one characterization of one of the guards. They somehow maintained a happy marriage despite her working during the day and working out during the night, and they communicated through post.
She would make him breakfast and head to work, and so he would come home, eat breakfast, go to sleep, and then he would make her dinner and head to work, and she would come home, have dinner, and go to bed. And somewhere along the lines, they had 3 strapping young men, and they are still married because of notes to each other, literally.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
And 3 kids somehow had happened. Oh, God, this is going to be so difficult to unpick. Oh, dear. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. And then how it talked about at the end when he got the pay rise, how the post-it notes had become a lot more sort of enamored.
Friendlier. Yeah. So what I was saying was I won't do one tomorrow night, but I'll probably do one in a week's time. So if you need an excuse to get on and do some sewing.
Yes. I will most likely be there for lack of anything better to do.
What's going to happen when we can actually go out again? I mean,
we'll have to do a Bookclub in person.
My children are going to be grown adults.
Yeah. It will be an interesting time to be alive.
Don't know about interesting, but
yeah.
Oh, this is slowly working. Well, I'm happy just to sit and chat for a little while, due to the fact that I've got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
I'm not even that tired yet. What is it? It's 10:15. I
Holy
am going to put chips somewhere where Mark won't see them if he comes in.
That is probably a wise decision. You know what? I bet if I
Okay, I'm going to guarantee you I'm going to forget where I just put the chips, and I'm going to find them in a couple of days and go, score!
Yeah. I bought some chocolate several weeks ago. It's still sitting on the shelves in my room. And every time I go, oh, that's right, I got that. But I don't want chocolate at the moment. And I haven't for a while. So when I do want chocolate,
that's right there.
That is going to be a score moment. Because it was like Lindt and it was on half price at Woolies. And I'm like, you can't just not buy Lindt at half price. Like,
no.
Who are you? Who are you?
You know what? I actually really, really like the Coles branded Belgian chocolate. Oh.
They are a recent addition and very good.
Oh, and they're cheap. It's like $3 for a bar when like Belgian chocolate's normally at least $6-7. Oh.
Yeah.
So good.
I
know what I'm going to be buying when I next make a chocolate cake for someone's birthday and I need to coat it in chocolate. Because what I do is when I make a chocolate cake, I just melt chocolate and cover the cake in melted chocolate.
If you do, you can do a really nice ganache with melted chocolate.
I don't do ganache. No, I just melt the chocolate, and then pour it on, let it harden. And then you actually have to heat the knife under a hot stream of water just to cut the cake.
Nice.
I'm not
It's like
kidding.
a Magnum cake. That's how we top the ice cream cakes that Mum does at Christmas now.
Yeah. It works really good when I do there's a recipe for a chocolate cake that's actually made using potatoes, mashed potato.
Ooh.
And it just keeps it really moist, beautiful moist. So you end up with this really thick, crunchy, hard chocolate on the outside and this beautiful moist chocolate cake in the center as well. Oh my God. But I haven't had an occasion to do anything like that, cooking cake or anything. So it's like I haven't made my ice cream pudding for 3 years now. Which is effectively take the insides of a pudding, Christmas pudding. So the fruit.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do, liquefy, put it on the stove, boil it up, put your port in it, boil it up, all that sort of stuff. Let it cool. And then instead of putting it inside a cake mixture, you put it in white ice cream.
Ice cream.
Best thing. Wow.
It is really good, particularly Australian Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Best thing to wash down the prawns.
I'm not a fan of prawns, so we never really do the Christmas prawns. We'll do a choice.
I used to love prawns. I used to love them. And I haven't eaten them since I got pregnant. So I haven't eaten them for about 4 years. Yeah, because So 4 years I haven't eaten them. And now I'm like, do I even really want to eat them anymore? Did I miss them? Not really.
I never liked them in the first place, so I wouldn't miss them.
I like the coolness of them because you'd eat them cold, so I like the coolness of them. But I didn't like the shelling. Shelling used to hurt my hands because I'd get eczema all over my hands from all the juices.
Somehow cold just sounds even worse to me, so I'm even more put off than I was before.
But I'm even to the point now where I don't even put prawns on my pizza anymore. I just, by choice, just go, no, I don't feel like prawns.
Mm.
Yeah. The
I
great
actively ask
Aussie
for
another prawn on the barbie, love.
I actively ask for stuff without prawns, so can't relate.
Unfortunately, when you're ordering pizza, you cannot actually specify no prawns on our local pizza maker.
Well, that is a fallacy with their ordering system.
So if you want the lot with no fishy bits, you kind of can't get it.
Yeah, I would just go somewhere else. Is that for me?
They've actually got really nice pizza. They're the closest. Like literally, you order it, and when it leaves the shop, it's like 5 minutes away.
Nice.
Yeah. So it actually by the time it turns up, it's still hot. The bottom of the box hasn't started getting soggy.
All the markers for good pizza delivery.
There's lots of pluses.
Yeah, I guess you just got to order one.
I like mushrooms.
Prawns.
I like mushrooms on my pizza, and everyone knows if you have mushrooms on your pizza, they get soggy very quickly because of all the moisture in the mushroom. So you got to get that pizza quick so you can eat it quick. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I might actually get through a night tonight without actually having Mark come in. That would be nice. I really hope this works out. I am literally not going to know if this cardigan works until I've finished it.
Oh, well, find out eventually.
Well, see, the thing is, though, is I'm using yarn that's not too expensive. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It'll just, if it's too small, it's too small. I'll just pass it on to someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't try it on, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way I'm knitting it.
No.
It's okay. Maybe we should read Geraldine's Alley. That's a nice short one.
For January?
Yeah.
I still have to get a copy of that. Although there's an audiobook, isn't there?
Yeah, she's done an audiobook and she's done an ebook too, so
nice.
I'm just glad that mine's not an onion chopper.
That was funny when we were taking bets on what would show up.
I was almost disappointed,
Yeah.
It was actually made even funnier because at some point, don't ask me why, but at some point, Amazon decided to take half my physical address, my house address, and half my PO box address and merge them together. And thankfully, the postie was smart enough to drop it off at the local post office because when they tag it as received, it sends a text saying you've got something to be picked up. So I get down there and we'd figured it out. We'd worked out what's wrong. I'd actually called them and said, look, you're going to get a couple of packages. This is the name. This will be the address. She said, don't worry, we'll send you the text message and come get them. So it was already going to the wrong address. Could have potentially just been sent back to the sender. God, that was. I think I've got everything now. Actually, I think everything's turned up.
That's good. I'm still waiting on my copies of The Shades of Magic to be dispatched, but they're not. Like, I think it was a pre-order for one that comes in October.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, I've got a book I want to order. I don't think it's out yet. It's like an Alan Cumming memoir.
Oh, okay.
It's called Baggage. Tales from a Life.
I'm gonna find something for Mark. Let's bring up Amazon. Let's try to find something for Christmas for Mark. That's not Where Is Baba.
I was about to say Where Is Baba too.
Where is
Mouse?
That yet? Where is Mousy? Well,
yeah.
I could do that based on the search to find a Mousy. Find out that it's not really a mouse. It's a Velveteen Rabbit. No, that's a bit. Yeah.
It's a bit sad.
The Hobbit graphic novel.
Ooh.
That's more fun. That's more fun. Could always get this book called And a Bottle of Rum.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one for a toddler.
Well, let's.
Mine's already been shipped.
Let's click on the Hobbit graphic novel and see where that takes us. See, I just do I'd go down to the people also bought.
Yeah,
this is probably a bit old for him.
Yeah, save that till he's a little bit older.
That's more of one for me, actually, to add to my J.R.R. Tolkien collection. Okay.
Although Sleeper and the Spindle could be a good one for Mark.
Oh, I plan on reading it to him. Hopefully see, he won't. It's actually really funny. It is actually very, very funny. He won't settle and let me read him a book, but he'll let Daddy read him a book. And guess who's not the reader of the family? So when Daddy's home, Mark and Daddy go in and do secret men's business for a good 20 minutes, half an hour after shower and teeth cleaning, and read a book together. And Mummy's like, but I want to read a book too. Oh, Mark will even come and Mark will even shut the door.
Oh gosh.
He gets out of bed, goes to the door, goes bye at me, and shuts the door.
Oh gosh. Cheeky
really He's a good kid. He drives me nuts sometimes. Like, he drove me nuts today until we figured out that it was his molars. Like, it was just short-tempered, grumpy. Oh, just that kind of kid that just looks you dead in the eye and throws something on the ground. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, he's got an attitude. Oh, he's got Daddy's temper and Mummy's attitude. Not a good combo. Okay. Kids books, Amazon. Baby to 2. Oh, Very Hungry Caterpillar. I haven't got that for him yet.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I want. I want the Rainbow Serpent. That's what I want.
That's right.
I want the Rainbow Serpent. That's the copy of the one that I used to have when I was a kid. You know how you always know the cover?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into that. Yes, I know this is very boring. You're just watching me stare at the screen to anyone watching this, but, you know, each to their own.
We are providing atmospheric background.
Oh, that's a good combo. The Rainbow Serpent, How the Birds Got Their Colour, and Welcome to Country as a combo.
Ooh. Is that Amazon's people also bought suggestion?
Frequently bought together combo pack.
Yeah.
There was this book too. I can never remember the name of it. When the family goes, like they're up in the northern Queensland and they go to like go to one of the islands. You know, it's just about obviously living off the land. Just come for the life. I think it might have been Rainbow Forest. I think it was called.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm just going to add all three to cart. I can always drop one off later.
I think I finally got all of that unpicked, except for the bits around the seam, but I think I can get away with leaving them in there. Oh, all right. Would really benefit from an overlocker, I think.
I've got one and I barely use it.
There's just certain times when I'm just like, oh god, that'd be useful about now.
I can't spell. I can't spell.
That's okay. We know the number for the reading and writing hotline.
Where the forest meets the sea. That's it.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. A whole sleeve that will give a bit of give without snapping now. Although now it's been out a little bit, so it's not as firm, which is disappointing, but oh well.
Awesome. Yay.
Is in. One sleeve is in. Can't be bothered fucking around with the other one now because it's
Getting late.
too fiddly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm happy I found that book. Where the Forest Meets the Sea, it's called. And it ain't cheap.
Oh, that rain has reached us now too.
Oh, it's beautiful. But paperback's cheaper.
Alright. I'll be back. I gotta go to work. I shall begin.
I think I found a book for Morgan and a book for Mark. Just got to find something for husband now. So what we'll do is we'll do a search for Titanic in books. And let's see if I can find something he doesn't. Oh. Why she collided, why she sank, and why she should never have sailed. Senan Maloney. Senan Maloney caused a worldwide media flurry in 2017 by revealing publicly that there was an uncontrolled coal bunker fire aboard Titanic. Experts held the fire would have significantly weakened a forward bulkhead, the failure of which hastened the sinking. Indeed, the shipyard worker aboard the Titanic from Southampton to Cherbourg said to have warned passengers about the ship's defects. Titanic might otherwise have lasted until daylight, with hordes being saved by flotilla of arriving ships. In Titanic, why she collided, why she sank, why she should never have sailed, Maloney makes a series of further startling revelations. He provides lost evidence for the true circumstances that led to Titanic's collision and ultimate loss. Maloney appeared on CNN along with NPR, Channel 4 documentary Titanic, New Evidence, which provides a platform for this book. Sounds like a bunch of crap to me. I'm going to add it because I'll ask hubby about that one and he'll go, don't bother about it, or yes, I want that. And Gareth Russell, The Ship of Dreams. I think he's got that one. Let's go back again. And let's have a look at some more. Boo. Hee. Saw you coming back.
I got back, and I think I said as well, but I realized I was on mute, so no one. I got back, and then I was just like, oh, I left my phone on the windowsill in the toilet.
Oopsies.
I had to go back and get it.
I think I found a book for David. It's called Titanic. I read it out. I read out the synopsis before. You weren't here. Why she collided, why she sank, why she should never have sailed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from 2017. Well, you know what? I'm here in the bedroom. Let's see if he has it. Oh, I'm sorry, Missy. Did I disturb you? Okay. Nope. How to Survive the Titanic. Okay. Pretty sure I bought him that one, actually. No, he doesn't have it. Cool. I know what I'm getting him. Now I just need to find a book for me.
Nice.
And so at the moment, I've got that Titanic book. I've got Where the Forest Meets the Sea. I kind of want to get all of these, but I really only need 2. Where the Forest Meets the Sea, How the Birds Got Their Colour, Welcome to Country, Rainbow Serpent.
Well, you need one for Morgan as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, I was thinking How the Birds Got Their Colours would be good for Morgan because it's quite bright.
You can always stock up for next year as well.
Well, I'm thinking that because I could just give them 2 books each because all 4 of these are worth having in the house. I'm going to leave them in the cart anyway. I've got to find out how much they cost to ship because that really does hurt.
Well, if it's over a certain amount of spend, there's free shipping.
Depends on where it's from.
Yeah, this is true. I'm just snooping on my YouTube analytics. We've had 1 kick overview onto the last video that I posted because it's mentioned in today's one. 2 more views on why is it streaming till the rum is gone.
Well, your update was probably me because I followed it from Patreon and watched it.
Which one?
Your catch up on your goals and that.
No, not that one. 1 kick overview from that video onto the previous one.
Oh, okay.
The failure chat, which is linked.
Watch Renee get paralytic chat.
Pardon?
The Watch Renee get paralytic chat.
We've had 2 more views of that one.
All the way through?
It doesn't say what the watch time is. It's just counted them as 2 views. And they're like... hang on, let me see. Let me check on the specific analytics for that one. 1 view yesterday between 4 and 5. And 1 view today between 2 and 3. Doesn't say for how long.
I'm sorry, I really have to laugh here. Have you seen what A Season of Darkness has been put under on Amazon?
What's it under?
Let me show you. That's just too funny not to share. I think Amazon does it themselves.
Oh no, I think I do know. It's erotic, isn't it?
Erotica.
That was happening with all of Bethany's books, and she couldn't work out why. Wait, where does it say?
Up the top. Just up above where it says last purchased. It says books, erotica, literature and fiction.
Why is it there though? Why is it there?
Oh,
I mean, I could be to blame.
That's just too funny not to share.
Technically, I could be to blame for that, given the content of one of my stories. But as far as I know, the rest, I actually haven't. I need to read them. I don't know whether the rest have any erotic content in them at all. I wouldn't call mine particularly erotic content. I would call it risque content. It's not the sort of thing you wanna read as erotica. Unless you have very
representation. Talk about misrepresentation. Serious.
God. There's gonna be someone with some real kinky tastes who finds it and is like, oh, this is perfect. People die in weird and wacky situations. Oh my gosh.
Dear.
That is hilarious though.
It is pretty funny.
This is a way to say watch time.
My algorithm is so screwed up. Oh dear. Just because I look up so much crap on Amazon, just out of curiosity, go, oh, what's that mean? Or what does that look like as a book? When you're searching for covers to get ideas for things, and but yes. We'll call it quits soon. It's nearly 11 o'clock and I need a shower before bed.
Same.
Comic books and graphic novels. Maybe there's something in here that will be worth having. Science fiction? What's in science fiction? It's going to be all Star Wars. What's the bet? Pretty much.
I found where I can see how long the views were for. They're for like 30 seconds each. But on the 14th, someone watched an hour and a half worth. I don't think that was me. I did rewatch a little bit.
Even if that's on times 2, that's 2 hours. So
that is true. If it's on times 2, I admire their ability to understand drunk speak at double speed.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
No, I can't. I'm definitely going to have to think about this.
Oh, they listen to Joe Cocker next door.
Oh, that's better. Now that I've got some decent books in my cart, I'm starting to get good
suggestions.
Yeah. Rather than romance, which I have never bought. Because I bought a few AuthorTube stuff. For some reason, a lot of romance was showing up.
Don't
know why.
I wonder why.
Oh. See, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bethany. But, I mean, seriously. I'm sorry. I know she's gone and spent a lot of money rebranding. But
that Bethany.
But seriously, that cover is gorgeous.
That is very nice. That is a very nice cover.
I think she said something along the lines of, because she got her original covers done by that little 8 little pages or whatever their name was. Yeah, and obviously, because they went out of business, she wasn't able to get more done. Okay, so I can understand that, but I love that cover. Anyway.
Getting a full drug
my algorithm again because I've gone into something that I have absolutely no interest in buying. might get that Dear Son. Let's be honest. I know I'm probably not going to read it straight away, so it's not something that can just sit there.
Mm.
Oh, it's only available in hardcover. Don't really want it in hardcover. To me, that's something that needs to be a paperback that you can sort of dog ear and note take, and oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's got artwork in it. No, I'm going to have to wait for it to be paperback. Because if it's a hardback, it'll never get read. It'll just sit there looking pretty. Because I don't know about you, but that's generally what happens to my hardbacks.
Sits there looking pretty.
Paperbacks, I'll just... That's what we could do. We could do The Witcher.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's also the TV series of that.
Yeah, I've seen
Sorry?
season 1. I've seen season 1. Season 2 is coming out soon.
Yeah, and season one is pretty much the first book, which is actually a series of short stories. It's not actually a novel.
Add it to the list.
Sounds, because I've got the first
I know there was
3 books.
There was
get the rest of them.
There was something about the books that sounded interesting. The show, to be honest, was a little bit boring, but
I just find it extremely interesting because they weren't originally written in English. So I do believe a fair amount has been lost in translation, but I love the fact that it wasn't originally written in English. I think that's something to, it's a bit of a challenge to. Obviously, I can't go and read it in its original language because single dialect here. But I do like the fact that it was loved enough in its original language to be translated.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the books. The show, I think, was watchable purely for aesthetic reasons. The plot was kind of confusing, and I don't know, but Henry Cavill.
The plot makes a shitload more sense when you realize that you're dealing with different timelines.
Yeah, and I started
because it's not clear until something like 2/3 of the way through.
You realize when he goes to her mother's wedding.
Yeah, that's it.
That's like the last point at which you would realize, I think.
There's a couple. I think I suspected leading up to that, but that's what sealed the deal. Yes.
Watching on the second watch, I was like, this makes so much more sense now, because when they're in, there's one way to pick it up in the first episode, and it is the queen, who's the grandmother, telling her granddaughter about the first battle she won, or the granddaughter mentioning something about the first battle that she won.
Yes.
And then a little later in the episode, when Geralt is talking to Renfrey says, "What about this woman this queen, I could have been like her. She just won her first battle at this place. And they're talking about the grandmother winning her first battle. And you realize, oh, on this, like, what if you pick up on that, you realize, oh, that's the timeline he's currently in.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Okay, I got to the end of a row, so I'm putting this away. I think we're going to call it quits. So if you got this far, thanks for joining us.
The last hour has been us chilling.
I'll let you know what book I do decide to get.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hope we're not in lockdown at Christmas.
Ooh. I hope so. I think we'll get out in the next month or two.
We'll get out with restrictions. We will get out with restrictions, but which I'm fine with. Just being able to go see family again will be really good right now.
Yeah.
I had a hard day of it yesterday. I was video chatting my mum and with Morgan on my lap, and she was just Googling and gargling and chatting to my mum and smiling, and I'm just like,
yeah. I think I was up at the farm in like after lockdown 4. I made it back for like one weekend. And I was like, I'll just be back in a couple of weeks because I got some rehearsals and stuff on. And then as soon as the weekend that I was meant to go back up came,
we went into lockdown.
Oh, lockdown 5.
Yeah, because you were saying, oh, no, I can't join your stream. I think I was going to do something on Friday night. I said, oh, no, I can't join the stream because, oh, no.
And then, like, half an hour later, I was like, I'll be there. Well, fuck. Looks like I'll be here. I was going to be at the farm, yeah. Like, literally the morning I was planning and I was, like, about to ring Mum and be like, oh, I'll come back up tomorrow. My coworker was like, there's been 8 cases. And I was like, we were on 0 yesterday. What? And I was just like,
we had 1 day of 0.
For fucking real? And she's like, looks like we go back into lockdown. I was like, what? It
was all because of that school. It got into that school and it got to multiple people before they shut down. That was it. Yeah. And now we're in a situation we're in now. Just goes to show how quickly it's like wildfire. It just goes. So.
Wait, that was 6 actually.
Yeah, well, was something like 6? They said 2 in the morning, and then as the day progressed, they went, "Oh yeah, we found another couple. Oh yeah, we found another couple. Oh yeah, we found another couple."
That was the start of lockdown 6, though, because that also happened. So we got into 4 on my birthday, and then we got out a bit slowly, and in sort of June, I managed to get up for 1 weekend. And then
I wonder if I'm going to have a second birthday in lockdown.
And then something
had 2 birthdays in lockdown.
I think I was planning a trip up. Then it was lockdown 5, and then we came out of lockdown 5, but there were still restrictions. And I think I was planning to go up, and it was like maybe there were restrictions that were like you maybe not supposed to, but because it's like I do.
No, they released us from a lot of restrictions. We had like 2 days. We had 1 day of 0 cases, and then literally the next day it was just like boom. You thought you were going to get out of this? Fuck you.
No, we were on restrictions for like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah,
but we weren't allowed to travel back to regional Victoria.
Yeah, number 5 was a weird one because it was when they tried to do the restrictions without restrictions, and it worked. He got that case down. It got that outbreak down. But in the meantime, this extra outbreak that caused
Just went
number
my
6
beer.
was bubbling away over here, and it's just like, oh, anyway. Okay, well, we're about to hit 3 hours, so we're going to call it a night. Because I'm that kind of person, I want to see if I can get it to finish right on 3 hours exactly. So bye.